Here is a great example of installing a pop-up emitter. And you don't need any special fittings. All of these are available at Home Depot or Lowe's. We're going from the sump pump from 1.5 inches to a 4-inch pop-up. Take a look at how great this works. I mean, it is amazing. This emitter, there's nothing like this. For less than 20 bucks, this is the result. This is an exterior foundation waterproofing job, and this is the best stone to use. This base of gravel is called number 67 stone. It is crushed, washed stone, and with a good base of gravel, your system will work like this. Not only does number 67 stone keep the fine particles out of your system, it allows so much water to percolate through and into your system. Remember, water rises from the bottom. It does not come from the top. Water rises up in through the holes of the pipe, and the pipe carries it away. Try to avoid this great big stone 2 and 3 inches. Yeah, there's a lot of voids in there, but it allows so much debris to come through and enter your pipe, it will clog within a year. And if you're using fabric, make sure that you use a fabric that I've shown you before, like Stay Green. Try to stay away from this double punched 4 and 8-ounce fabric. It does not work. I have posted so many videos showing you how slow the fabric actually works. This system, it works so good. Number 67 stone, the pipe is encased in gravel. What that means is there's gravel underneath. Do not lay that pipe directly onto the soil. It will not function as well. You can see when you watch this, this is inside the pipe during a thunderstorm. And look at how the water rises up and into the pipe. It does not come from the top. So if you really want a system that works like this, please follow the instructions. Watch the video. Here's the video of this particular install. Remember, the secret is number 67 stone. This will keep out all the debris. It filters it out. It works great. We've been installing these systems for over 35 years with 100% success.
Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we are going to do some exterior waterproofing along this garage. What's been happening is that in this corner right here, water's flooding into the garage, also in the back corner, in the very back, so we're going to do the back wall as well. What we need to do is we're going to dig down to the footer, right along both sides of the garage. We're going to install gravel perforated pipe. We're going to paint that wall. Over here where Paul's digging, we're going to go ahead and put a sump pump and a sump pit. When that water comes down this wall, it's going to go into the sump pump, sump pit. We're going to pump it out, and it'll go right over here out to the curb. So we've got our sump pump set, or excuse me, we've got our sump basin set at the proper level, and you can see the discharge, or excuse me, the inlet line coming in. That's where the footer tile will tie in. As you look along this wall, what looks like it's footer is actually just overpour. That's why we're much deeper than that. Terry's cleaning this out here in the back. We've almost got that clear to the back wall where it will turn. Chuck and Derek are digging the back wall. We've got about maybe 30 minutes here before we're able to wash off the block and the footer, and then we'll put our liquid rubber on there and seal this wall so that no more water can get inside this garage. So what's been happening here is that if we count these blocks, 1, 2, 3, this is actually the floor inside the garage. Water has been flooding up and coming through right here. We're going to seal this wall with liquid rubber. That's the black asphalt fiber coating that keeps it watertight. Then we're going to put gravel perforated pipe down along here, and as water floods up into the system through the gravel into the pipe, it comes around and goes over into the sump pit, and our sump pump's going to lift it up and take it out. This is how it looks when you set it in the sump pit. Pump sits flush on the bottom. We've got our first riser coming up to the check valve. Arrow points up. Second riser comes up 90, all 1.5 inches, and then this is going to send it out to the street. At the street, we'll put the pop-up emitter right at the curb, and that will let the water come out. So if you look closely here, you can see these guys are doing a great job. We're down below the floor on this side. On this side over here underneath the fence, it might need to go down just a little bit more, but really close. Once we get down, below that to the footer, we're able to go ahead and clean these walls off. Then we'll paint with our liquid rubber. You can see the old black stuff they have on there before, but they didn't put any footer tiles in here. There's no perimeter drain. So that causes the water to flood underneath the floor coming up in their garage. The garage is somewhat finished, so they want to kind of keep that area as dry as possible. Okay, so we've got our sump pump installed, and you can see what we've done. Because we're below grade, we're underground here. There's going to be a lid. This is actually underground. We've come up, made a 90. We drill a 2-inch hole through the pit. Connection here, 1.5 inches. It goes all the way out to the street, to the pop-up. Now we're ready to wash off these walls. We're going to plug the pump in because the water's all going to come down here to the pit, and we want to make sure that we don't flood our area. So we've got a small base of gravel down here, so that as we wash off this wall, we're going to use the garden hose and spray this wall off real clean, as clean as we can make it, because we're going to put that liquid rubber up here on the wall to seal the wall. You can see we've got our sump pump installed. Sump pump's installed down in the bottom. We're ready for the water to come now so that we can pump it out as we work. Over here we've got Paul digging the discharge. This is just going to be 1.5 inch pipe. We're going to put our pop-up emitter right here at the curb. This trench goes back to the sump pit, where the sump pump lifts it up and pumps it out right out here to the curb. Okay, so we've got our discharge connected here. This is a pop-up emitter, 1.5 inches. We just, using a coupling here, but we're enlarging, but this is a reducer. Enlarging to 3-inch. Water will come up and pop out right here. This line travels over to the sump pit. Sump pump lifts it up, pumps it out. As the water comes up, it'll just come out right through here. Let's go ahead and cover this up. So here's our pop-up. That's good, Chuck. Okay, so we washed off the foundation wall. We've got a good flow of water going through our trench already, going all the way over to the sump pump. And next we're going to go ahead, it's dried off, we're going to go ahead and seal that wall. Basically we're painting it with a liquid rubber, which is an asphalt coating, has fiberglass mixed into it, makes a real tight bond, and we're going to seal all the way down to that footer, which you can see there. That's actually the floor. Okay, so we've got our liquid rubber, putting it onto the wall. You can see it just paints right on there. It's going to harden and keep that wall real tight. Just have to finish all the way back, do one more wall. So we're finishing up the last section here, putting up our liquid rubber membrane. You seal it all the way down to the footer and across the footer as well. That way no water can penetrate through there.
So we have a great base of gravel laid down. Next, we're going to actually put the easy flow on top of this gravel and cover that completely with stone, number 67 stone, available by the bag or from the gravel yard.
So what we're using here is called easy flow. You need to take those wrappers off of there, Chuck. What we're using here is called an easy flow system, quick flow. What this is there's perforated pipe surrounded by styrofoam peanuts, and that's all encased in a fabric. According to the manufacturer, this has a 30% better flow rate than gravel. So if that's the case, this will work outstanding. It'll be the best ever made, but we're going to give it a try on this job. So we're finishing up the gravel by the bag.
we have removed all of the clay that was here. We've excavated that area and taken it away, and we're going to bring this gravel to grade. Notice how wide our trench is. We're actually covering the easy flow with the gravel. All of this is gravel. There's over 2 tons of gravel here. And yeah, we brought it by the bag. What difference does it make how you bring your gravel into your job site? Number 67 stone. Don't forget, crushed, washed gravel. If you get it by the bag, you can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. If you go to the quarry, it's a little bit cheaper.
Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day. Okay, so we're going to set up our sump pit. We're going to perforate it. We're going to drill holes in it. But first we're just going to take our hacksaw and cut off the nipple here. This is going to be the inlet line coming from the footer tile. The perimeter tile is going to come into the pit. Good hacksaw, cuts right through it. Next we're going to go ahead and perforate the pit. We'll start by putting a few holes in the bottom because we don't want the pit to float up out of our hole. And this will allow the water to come in to the pit very quickly, keep the pit down. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and perforate the sides of it. So now we've got our sump pit ready to install. I'm going to go give it to Paul so that we can check the depth of how far he's dug. This is actually going to be just below grade. We've got a solid lid cover, goes on the top, nice and secure. Okay, so we're setting up a Zoller M53 box that comes in, warranties inside. Start by, we've got an 1.5 inch discharge. We want to use an 1.5 inch threaded nail adapter. It screws right into place. We're just going to put it in here hand tight so we can show you how to set it up, and then we're going to glue it all together. Next we cut a piece of 1.5 inch PVC. We want to get it just above that riser, okay? Because we want to put a check valve on here. And a check valve only allows water to flow one way. This one's real nice. It's got a nice little arrow. Can you see that arrow? The arrow tells me that the flow of water is this direction. It has rubber no-hubs with stainless steel clamps around the sides of it. These are super strong. These stainless steel clamps hold it in place. So we're going to go ahead and put our no-hub on with our check valve. It just sets in place. Then we're going to tighten these up, these bands, which hold that in place. Once the pump's installed, we'll put a riser on it to bring it up and out of the pit. We're going to put a 90 on it, and our discharge line will come out here to the curb. Lastly, Zoller recommends that we drill a tiny little 3/16 inch hole between the discharge of the pump and the check valve, just to prevent any airlock, especially when you drill holes in the bottom of your pit, because it can suck air for a few minutes, before the water actually fills up. So we're going to put a little hole, it doesn't matter where. This is a tiny little hole, which will relieve the pressure between the pump and the check valve. Now we're ready to install.